Hey, this is Dave with Exploring.com, and this is part 2 of our documentary series called The War. It's all about how we're trying to get all the actors and actresses back to work from the Marvel Studios acquisition of Fox, which we didn't want, but we had to do anyways. Alright, so today what we're talking about are women's reproductive rights. There's a hotbed issue brewing right around the corner from our studios. And we thought, what better way to describe what's happening in society, especially down here in Orlando, which is now a part of the third largest state in the United States of America, Florida. And we wanted to share with you a little weird story from one human being. The whole project is about getting the opinion of everybody. I'm not here to tell you what anybody's opinion is, and I'm only here to inform you of the different sides in the conversation. It's up to you to decide which way to vote come this November. It's up to people like me to decide how to give you unbiased information. To set up this story, the abortion clinic, which is not an abortion clinic to these people, they do alternative medicine that allows women to grab birth control should they need it. And to some people, they believe that that is already a baby. They think that having sexual relations where semen meets the egg and begins the fertilization project is 100% a childbirth. And while I may agree or not agree on certain points of what she said, I took it upon myself to ask questions, to hear her side of the story, and to let you all know this is just one particular part of a 2-hour-long movie. And every single time you've ever watched anything that I've done on this YouTube channel, it is one particular part of a bigger whole. Thank you all for watching, and until I get a final chance to release the final cut of The War, please enjoy these political hotbed issues. And if you are down in that surgery center, you want to talk to me about the type of things that are happening in front of you, please don't bully the females out of their own opinions. That was all I really cared about. I did not care about what their opinions were, and I did not judge them for their opinions. I just asked them all what their opinions were. I also want to let you know, it seems to me that there are different opinions based on the different sociological, financial areas that you come from. Lower financial areas tend to have certain political views. Higher financial areas tend to have very opposite political views. People with money want to hold on to their money. The United States government is designed to get you to work so that you can supply them with money. And in return, they supply you with things like lower cost of goods, affordable homes, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If you want to come to the United States of America and live off of $30,000, it's probably not possible. If you want to come to the United States of America and bring a $30,000 chunk of change with you so that you can get a job, get nested into a society that you like, and get to work, then you're probably going to succeed. But you have to be documented. It doesn't matter what country you're from. Instead of building a big border wall, which cost us all our money, why don't we do something a little more and solve the actual problem? If you're the person that was trying to sell all of those products and goods to the border wall, I worked directly with Disney on a lot of projects, and we could really use your help. There's money there. $96.2 billion worth of money, currently. And that's just getting started for Mr. Bob Iger. All I'm trying to tell everybody is that there are peaceful solutions. If you slow down, if you relax a little bit, and you let the opinion know that it is not the only opinion in the United States of America. When somebody forcefully takes your life, takes your wife, or takes your children, then we have a Hamas battle. And if that is here locally in the United States of America, Mr. President Biden, we need your help. Until I get a chance to speak with this president again over this type of airwave, please enjoy the interview. Please enjoy your own political opinions without hurting somebody. And please know that none of them are urgent enough to be done right now. This is a big, open political discussion. If you have emergencies, then you need an emergency help. That's what 911 was set up for. The discussions that we have right now will not come to a close until the President of the United States is elected this November. Now, that doesn't mean we don't currently have a President of the United States of America. His name is Joseph R. Biden. He's running against Donald J. Trump to become the next president, which will be the next 4 years. That doesn't mean that those are the only two that you can vote for. If you have a vote and you want to put it on there, you can write in any presidential candidate you would like, even yourself. That being said, learn the political process. Learn what your human rights are, your basic human rights are. And finally, learn about the Electoral College, because that is the only way that the president can win this November. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the interview. No matter which side of it you're on, give it the time to speak about it calmly and patiently with all your loved ones or anybody that wants to. And if they don't want to talk about politics, leave them alone. I can't wait to go exploring it with you very soon. Well, hey, so my name is Dave, and this is Exploring It. And I am here with, you said Storm?
Storm, yeah.
Storm, okay. This is Storm right here. And Storm, is it okay if I interview you?
Absolutely.
Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to use this for an investigative report for certain issues. And I was watching the president's address last evening. He had a big old bunch of women that were hanging out with him, all wearing white, all professing their love for human rights and for basic women rights. Now, she is a woman, and I am not. So we're going to interview her, ask her all of her questions, see what her stances are, and then we'll talk to many more people over in the area to see what we can do to kind of shed some light. All right, so what is your personal opinion here, and what do you represent?
All right, I am a pro-life Catholic. I believe that life begins at conception, no exception, and that I believe that every baby has a right to be born. I don't really mean that everyone has to be a parent if they don't choose to, but I don't think that anybody has the right to murder a baby.
But a lot of times there are limits as to what people think the term would be when they have the child. Okay, so, and what is your opinion on that? Do you have a stance on that one?
I believe that abortion's wrong in every case, every instance, and I don't believe that there is a certain point when life begins other than conception.
Okay, so even at the point of conception, you believe that there is a child there.
That is a unique piece of human DNA that is unrepeatable, and it is absolutely a gift.
Okay, now this next question I'm going to ask you is a little dark, because I came from an environment where there was a lot of incest, rape, disgusting nature. It's war, you know? Yeah. That's where I came from. What do you think about people that have been raped and their families have been murdered and there's a child in that belly? Is that supposed to be a gift for that lady?
I definitely don't mean that she has to be a parent if she doesn't choose to be, but I don't think that you should destroy that child. I think abortion at the end of the day will add more trauma to an already traumatic situation.
Okay, so what you believe is that she should carry to term.
Yes.
And if I'm paraphrasing wrongly, or if I'm saying anything incorrectly, please do correct me.
Yes.
If that happens and somebody gets raped by somebody and they didn't want to have this child, you believe they should carry to term and they should give the child to somebody else so that that person can raise the child?
Ideally, yes. And rape and incest, they're less than 1% of all cases of abortion.
Okay, but they do happen.
They do happen. I'm not going to deny that it happens, but at the end of the day, it's such a small minority of things.
But it does happen to people.
It does.
So what would be your stance on those people knowing that it does happen? Can you back off on that one a little bit for those people?
Fortunately, I can't because that's a human life.
Okay. All right. So what would happen if that happened to your family? What would you do?
I would give support any way that I can for those 9 months, and I would definitely help them if they chose to keep the child or if they give it up for adoption. I would be there for them.
What are your opinions on drugs?
I don't think that they're great. I don't think that they're necessarily the best thing for a person.
I will politically make this stance right now. I am a huge advocate for the legalization of marijuana. I always have been. It is no different than the domestic violence that I grew up in, watching people get drunk as hell and smashing little kids in the face. I grew up in war, where people were murdered, raped, assaulted because they didn't sell enough drug money that night, beaten up because the daddy didn't have enough money to pay for the mortgage. That's my stance. And I promise you that if that guy was high on marijuana instead of drunk as shit off an eighth of Jim Beam, he would never have done that. Anyways, let's move back to this issue. The reason why I suggest that is because I feel a lot of the stuff from that 1% that you're talking about is from the direct misuse and mislabeling of financial means. Most people don't have the financial means to see forward in the future. They're so surrounded by the chaos, right? So I feel like your stance comes from the love of all humans. Correct. And I can't fault anybody for that, right? We just have to remember that there are certain people that are just in agony every single day because of this stupid ass drug war. And I don't mean legalize everything, but you need to make marijuana affordable. And when I have to go spend $65 on an eighth because somebody decided to buy up a supply of affordable marijuana for the local locations and take it to a different location to resell it, which is automatically illegal, that makes us all really upset. And we're also talking about advanced finances. And we're also talking about how advanced finances can help something like this. If you had financial support for your cause, and if you don't have an answer for this, I know I'm putting you on the spot. If you had financial support for a cause, for this, what would you do with that financial support?
I would definitely donate and help the people who do choose to parent their child. I mean, we have this wonderful center right here, Life Choices, that will do free ultrasounds. They help you find health care for those 9 months of pregnancy. They even have adoption services. So I think it's great to help women. I mean, we're not here because we hate women. I'm definitely not here sweating in the 90-degree heat because I hate these women.
Right. And it's very scary over here, guys. There are lots of people will come out of the place. When you try and ask somebody to interview them for this particular type of stance, it's very hard for some of these people that I've talked to take a discussionary standpoint. They get a hard stop on an anger issue, right?
Right, exactly.
And then they freak out. I'd like to talk to their bosses also, but I don't think any of them will let me interview
They're
them.
not really open for discussion. They usually play loud music and try to shout us down. If anything, I'm always open to talk to people about
Yeah, well, and I can tell you also that if you take an alternative stance on a huge issue right off the bat, I don't agree or disagree with anything that we're talking about right now, but if you take an alternative issue in this society right now, you will be persecuted. And I don't believe that's fair in the United States of America. That is why I'm giving her all of my time and asking her as many questions as I can. All right, what would be the very first thing you would spend on? You have to think of an idea or would you give it to those people? Say I gave you a $10,000 advertising budget for what you want to do to increase your awareness and do it peacefully, calmly, without people getting upset or running away or thinking that I'm trying to hurt them by interviewing them. What would be your first
if
purchase?
it's purely advertising, if I had a $10,000 advertising budget, it would absolutely be for our wonderful crisis pregnancy centers that help people every single day in crisis pregnancies. And I would like to advertise to help people understand what exactly it is that they're advocating for when it's abortion. Whether that's chemical abortion where it starves a child, or if it's the dismemberment of a child in a D&E or D&C abortion. I feel like most people on that side, they really don't know what it is they're advocating for.
Excellent. All right, so this is where people come for free birth control. This is where people come to make sure that they don't get stuck in the environment that they're in. And ladies, I can tell you, if you're taking money from strip clubs, you're gonna get stuck in that environment no matter what. You're gonna meet people that are always gonna follow you around, and they're always gonna do stuff to you. Look, I grew up at the dog track. I grew up around the gambling people. I grew up around crime. It's not something I wanna do any longer. And what we need more of is this type of peaceful conversation without people getting upset. Typically the people that we find that don't have this type of conversation have a lot to hide. All right, is there anybody else that you want to interview or you want to bring in on the interview? Would you like?
If you would like to talk to Sinclair, I don't know. He's kind of busy praying right now.
Okay, perfect. So, all right, so Sinclair is going to continue to pray over there by himself. We're going to continue to talk to as many women as we can. Thank you so much for being so courageous for your cause peacefully.
Yes, have a great day.
Here,
Oh, okay. Whatever works, man.
So if I ever do this with you guys, we used to do that when we washed dishes,
Yeah.
when we worked in the kitchen. It's just a fun way to say hello.